Welcome to Positive Moments with Andrew and Don.
Let everything go.
That was such a life-changing experience.
It's a way of life, it's a way of being, it's a way of thinking, it is mind management.
It inspires me to know that there's more to learn every single day.
Welcome back to Positive Moments with Andrew and Don. We're getting ready to end off Positive Moments with Andrew and Don, but we're going to end off with a bang, with a musical bang, with a calling of passion and purpose. We have not all answered that call yet, but we want you to. You know, Don and I have answered that call because that's why this show exists. But just in case you haven't, I want to know how to, I want to hear somebody who has, and connect with them. That's why we have this guest with us here today. But before we have Jaranus come on, I have my brother Don. Don, welcome back, bro.
Wow, and Andrew, every time you say the call, I hear the ring. Let me tell you, I hear the ring. And Andrew, sometimes, you hear that ring, you hear that, you're supposed to answer something like a greater purpose. And sometimes, guess what, you ain't feel so well. But sometimes you ain't feeling so well, you want to call a doctor, but let me tell you, you got to get a nurse. And not nobody like Jaran nurse. So let me tell you, you bring the nurse inside of the house, and a man who really answered the call. And Jaran, we want to say welcome to Positive Moments with Andrew and Don.
I must say thanks so much for having me on Positive Moments with Andrew and Don.
It's a pleasure, it's a pleasure. Really and truly, thanks for making the time because we know how hectic the world is today, how busy people are today. But most importantly, what do you think about the concept, what we're talking about today, answering the call?
I must say, firstly, I'll consider it a blessing and a great opportunity. The Bible, the Word of God said that your gift will take you before great men. And I think this is today is a basic example of that. Two great men, Don and yourself, people that is known for doing great things and positive things in this nation. So I consider this to be a big blessing and the Word of God fulfilling itself.
Wow, Andrew. I get amen from Andrew. That's a good thing. And let me tell you a good thing as well. Interestingly, Jaran, you're a guy, people know you for him, and you had to sing. Let me tell you one time, you had to sing, I'll give you a little two note and I singing. You know what I mean? Right? And you realize that's not my call. But Jaran, what impressed me about your story and so on, why it is we say we had to call you, is because Jaran, you are there for others. And when you talk about community, I'm thinking about Carenage because I know a little idea that you're from Carenage. And I have a little idea too. I don't want Andrew to know as yet. You like the water. I think I might want to talk a little. Andrew, you have a little water in him, Not just you alone, sailor boy. You have a little water in him. Jaran, you like the water?
Yeah, I love the water. Once you're from Carenage, that's compulsory. I'm sure no stones, but they say once you're from Carenage, that should be compulsory. So I don't know what to say if you're from Carenage and you're not a good swimmer. That's something you should want to tighten up on. But yeah, I love the water. It's a part of my life. It's a peaceful place as well as my brother was saying earlier on. But yeah, it's just a place where I relax. Sometimes I go out there and just run the boat and say a prayer and stuff like that. So it's just a peaceful place. Yeah, therapeutic.
Wow. And you kind of look like a little sportsman a little bit, so you might have a little football, because I'm aware you used to play a little football before. But more importantly, he made a big switch. Jaran, you made a switch because you weren't heading down, the gospel art. You weren't heading down that road at all. What road you was on first before you get this other call?
I was on a bad road. As you talk about football, I'd safely say I was running offside because I didn't have Christ in my life the way I was supposed to, and I started doing a lot of wrong stuff because of me thinking I had an excuse or a reason to do wrong stuff. I was adopted from 2 weeks old because my dad was hooked on drugs, mom was mentally ill, so I was adopted by who was supposed to be my godparents. And growing up in a place called Carenage, where people would label as a risky area, high-risk area or ghetto area, it was a little tough because people would tell me, boy, your mother mad and your dad is a piper and stuff like that. And a lot of what I was saying, I didn't have a comeback, because it was the truth. My dad was on drugs, my mom was really mentally ill. And because of that, I fell in love with hate and got introduced to a sickness that is worse than COVID-19, worse than cancer, a sickness called unforgiveness. And I started hating my real dad. I didn't want to see him. And unforgiveness invited low self-esteem and because a lot of problems is hinged on that main problem of unforgiveness. And because of that, I went out to school, started selling marijuana in school, fighting to find myself. But I thank God that I really found myself when I found Christ. So I tell people, when you start a malfunction in life, I had a Nissan vehicle and I had a really good mechanic. But there was this one time that he couldn't find the problem and I had to take it to Neil and Massey because they are the manufacturers. And that's the same for life. When you start a malfunction and no psychiatrist or no surgeon or nobody can find the answer, take yourself to the manufacturer, which is Jesus Christ, and he'll have some answers for you.
Wow. Wow. So you went on you on this particular path, right? This wrong road, right? And then you went to the manufacturer. And what did the manufacturer tell you about your call? How did you know your call?
Well, I always thought my call was soccer, football. First time I left the country, first time I got a visa was for football. And I remember the doctor told me, well, you know what? I had a problem that they couldn't source the beginning of the problem. They couldn't diagnose what was going on. And they said, well, you know what, you should stop. And I remember I used to run away. I would send my cousin with my boots to go like he'll go before me and I'll go like I go and watch the game and go and take a chance and play and I'll always get sick. And nothing was stopping me until I realized that when I found myself, that's when I say I hadn't encountered Christ. That's when I found myself. That's when I discovered my giftings and my talents, which was really music. And all of a sudden, I didn't like the football. Football became secondary. They'd call me to play and I said, nah, I ain't feeling the player good. And that used to be weird because I was like a football pyong. And that's when I realized that God blessed me with this gift of music to reach people, to connect with people on a different level. And it went, and more doors opened even further when I forgave my dad. So I tell people, unforgiveness is something that will just block you and hinder you. Forgiveness is not for the person, it's for you. When you forgive, you open up a lot of doors for you. This is like drinking poison and expecting the next person to die. If you drink poison, you will die. I was dying, but thank you, Jesus.
What a way to put it, boy. Very powerful. I'm also born in Carnage myself. Grew up in School Street.
Well, I'm from School Street.
And I lived there for the first, I think, 3 or 4 years of my life. But, after touring with Don and visiting many, many schools across the country, south, north, east, west, every corridor, he has always preached something that I have taken and put in a different way. He would always say, your school doesn't make you, you make your school. Yeah. And I took that as I'm no longer in school. How can I look at it in life? Your community, your town, wherever it is, your sport, it doesn't make you. You make your town, you make your family, you represent the things that you do. And while they have some negatives around Carnage, and yes, there are some troubled people in troubled areas, more so in Carnage than some other areas, that's okay. Yeah. You can still produce a Jaron Nurse who had a belief in himself as an athlete and would try so much that the doctors would say, cool it, but you still find a way to get there because that was your love and passion and purpose at that point in time. But that wasn't meant to be. And you continued going. You forgive your father. You've learned the art. I call it an art because it's a beautiful thing to be able to forgive people. If you don't forgive people, you might drop down like what we just fell down there. You don't want to drop down. It might just fall because you then create what I call baggage. Yeah. Every time you don't forgive somebody, just add something in your suitcase there. And by nature, you end up starting to accumulate suitcases. Yeah. But these suitcases are tied to your leg. Yeah. And they start to slow you down. And eventually, you can't even walk. You can't even breathe properly. You become stuck, unstable, and then it becomes a whole mental breakdown in life. Anxiety and stress. We have to let go in order to fly high. You will never see a plane taking off with no engines. Never. If we live a life like that, we lose our engines. We need to fly high. We may not be birds, but we can soar. Head on?
Wow, soar like the eagle. And in order to truly live, we must give because life is forgiving. It's whichever way you look at it. Whichever way you look at it. And one of the things, Jared, is that you have given of yourself not just as an artist to go out there and you sing, and many people are humming your tunes and you hear it everywhere, taxis, everywhere, everybody's singing your tune. But what I admire is I saw a video with you in the community, involving the community. And tell us a little bit about your work in the community now, because you obviously have a passion and a heart I mean, you forgive your dad, but you have so many guys there who you're helping them to forgive their dads. And that to me is the ripple effect. You know, tell us a little bit about what that ripple effect has been for you. I have to say ripple for Andrew, you know, is water, like flow, don't go, don't know, you know, show, like, you know, like, but let go.
I say it's a blessing to see the relationship I have with the people. Even coming here just now, a guy who cannot come to Carnage saw me and pull me over. He said, just pull over and I want to talk to you. And the level that he would open up to me with, I consider that to be a blessing. Now, the flip side of that, some people mightn't understand and they might say, well, why are you talking to a guy like that? But if I want to reach a guy like that, I have to talk to a guy like that. You know, too many times we try to reach people by pushing them away. And I thank God for the relationship I have with people, because what God blessed me with is only for people. It wouldn't be no value for me, you know. So I thank God for that in the community, because I was miserable before. I tell people my testimony will always be louder than my music, because you could turn off the music, you could lower it down, but my testimony, I'm the only one that could spoil that. And I thank God that in some places I don't even have to say anything because they know how he was before. So sometimes a situation might happen and my family might be mad. They might say, why will you get so boy? Since when you get so softy? And that's when I just use it to advertise. It's because of Jesus in my life. You know, the old me would have done retaliate or whatever, but I found something better and you should try it. You know, because I did foolish stuff in my life. I got arrested and stuff like that. And I thank God that I don't look like that, because when Jesus turned your life around, he turned it around completely. You know, so it's only when I tell people that that's what happened and that's where I've been. But I thank God because of that, he always had me to be relevant in these type of places, so I can have a conversation. I'll go to the prison and I'll have a conversation. I enjoy going to school. Sometimes I'll go to the school and when people hear, well, yeah, Jesus, shoot, they would laugh because I understand the culture. But it's when I have a conversation with them and I show them, well, this is where I've been, and I thank God that he would allow me to get their attention, and he always keep me relevant and tied to the times. Bless God for that.
Even nature is kicking up with those messages. We have a little dog barking, the crickets chirping. We could all feel the energy and how powerful that story is. Because I myself feel a little bit of goosebumps, a little bit of energy. It really is important for us as human beings to evolve. You know, if we don't evolve, we get stuck. You know, and I recently spoken to a friend who is struggling with his business, and he said, you know what, someone came to my business 3 years ago and asked me to buy it, and I said, nah, this is a family business. This started by my grandfather, then to my father, and to me. I'm not selling this. Meanwhile, it was the best offering that he could have possibly ever have received. But because he was thinking in a way where, no, I'm not doing that because of history, it was a big loss. Now they're about to lose the business because of the situation. So the calling is what we want to come back today. Because there's something I feel inside of me that you have not opened up for the audience of it today about. There was a switch. Let's hear about that switch that called you.
The switch that called me was this one time I went to Carnival camp. Now, I was growing up in church, right? Growing up in church, because who adopted me? My godparents. That is a prominent church lady, Sister Jenny. Everybody knows Sister Jenny in Carnage, right? But I was growing up in church, but church wasn't in me. It's like the fish. I tell people I was like the fish. You know, we all love fish, but when it's time to season fish, we had to add salt. And that fish spent all his life living in salt water. So that was me. I was growing up in it, but it wasn't getting inside of me. Church and Jesus wasn't getting inside of me. But I remember this one time I went to a camp, because I never used to go to carnival or anything like that. And the pastor, God spoke to the pastor through me, and that's when I had an encounter with Christ. You know, and automatically I got allergic to other things. Every wrong thing I got allergic to, where I might still do it, but the conviction would be stronger. Like I'll be like, but why you say that? Or why you did that? Or why I end up here? Why I treating this person like that? And that was the switch. For me, that's when I realized that, hey, something. And that camp was some days before that I did something. I got in an altercation with a stranger in town, and one of my friends did something really crazy, and I was just out of it. I was just remembering all this crazy, like, what is going on? This fella could find himself in some real problems. I don't even know the guy, and next thing this guy come back for me, and I couldn't focus. But even in the midst of all that chaos, God still found a way to get my attention. And that's what I thank. I always say thank you, Jesus. So maybe you might be going through a chaotic moment, but He can find and get your attention in the midst of that chaos. But are you willing to listen? Are you willing to answer that call?
Wow. Well, let me tell you, Jaron, it's just say that, and you're talking about making that switch. I like to put you on the spot. Trust me, spot backwards is tops, because when you get put on the spot, you come out tops, and there's a time you have to stop. But even before we stop, let me tell you, I'm going non-stop, right? Even before that time, Jared, you were able to translate that into the lyrics of the music, because you write music as well too, right? And I think that I have a little idea. Play more positive music. Oh my, this is positive moment. Let me just tell you, right? Let me just tell you, right? But I want give us a little taste, because we play positive music. But I want to give you a little taste of the positive music. But I'm going to switch one time and ask you to talk about the lyrics, because the lyrics in a song might really get somebody to think. It's more than just the music, a nice melody. It's the lyrics in the music. So I want you to give me a little taste of the positive. Play more positive music. Give me a little taste, because I have to sing it. Let me try again. Play more positive. You see, I don't sound like it.
Better than the singer.
Oh gosh, Andrew, you hear that? Andrew, I cut in a CD after. But Jaron, give me a little taste of it now, man.
Play more positive music, cause that's what my friend them are fighting for. Play more positive music. Too much a negative thing going on, color. Them push all of the positive artists, them push them away behind. And them know what here connects no blessed messenger. But they rather promote alkaline. And then they want to know I don't have Trinidad and Carina's why it got so much a crime. It's the negative music that them playing that are messing with the youth them mind. And beg you just play more positive music. And it simply means the music we listen to could really take a toll on us sometimes. Music is a powerful tool, is a powerful vehicle that sometimes just get in our subconscious without our permission. I remember I have songs where I don't like, but sometimes it might be playing and I tap in my foot. I remember I had a vulgar song some years, and I was just singing this particular one line of that song, and it was like if it was beyond my control. And this song was really to say that, play some positive music, because the music we listen to could have an influence on the way the youths behave. So promote positive. This actually started with a young guy. He was about 3 years of age. And the song he was singing, and because the people know that I'm a singer in the community, they say, Frame, that's my home name. Right? They say Frame. Well, I know you would see why. You don't need to ask why they call me Frame. Say Frame call Goobsy and ask Goobsy what is his favorite song. Goobsy said down in your throat, girl. 3 years of age. And that rocked me. And that is where that song began in my mind, because this young man, he don't know, he have no control, he don't know how to put on a radio, but that is what he was. That's what I was playing, and that's what he was hearing. So that is what encouraged me to do a song like that.
Wow, they say influence, because music has some influence. And influence is when you reach, exceed your grasp. So you have an influence now to put inside of your lyrics, put some stuff that people could actually be feeling good about themselves. And I mean, how does that feel to know that you have some lyrics there that when somebody finish and they start to get it into the subliminal now, it's something that leaves them feeling positive, and even for a positive moment, leading to a positive moment?
Well, I consider that to be a big blessing, and also walking in purpose. Plenty of people measure purpose with popularity, but I don't believe in that. I believe purpose is just simply doing the will of God. And if God could allow me to write a song that could be a blessing to you and put a smile on your face or pull you away from a problem or push your focus to Christ, I think that is a big positive blessing.
Wow. What are you seeing for Jaron? Because this call, let me tell you, this call echoes. And even as you talk about frame, this thing can't be framed because it's expanding. And where you're seeing down the road for Jaron is, what's Jaron? What's that road? Because you're on a different road now, Jaron, totally. What's that road for Jaron? What it looking like so far?
Well, looking like, I tell people it's somewhere, but wherever God have me and wherever God send me. These days it's looking like more of a theatrical side, like, because I really love theater as well. So that's why I mix a lot of theatrics with the music. And I'm finding that I great joy in doing short plays and stuff like that. And I see that I can write songs to go with it. So it will bring out the vision in the music quite clearly. So that is why I think that's the direction God might be sending me, you know. But it all boils down to people, reaching people, finding ways to reach people.
Wow. Jaron, I want you to look to the camera because even as you talk about reaching people, there are people right now looking at positive moments with Andrew and Don. And there's somebody who figure, I can't reach where Jaron reach. I can't, maybe it might be a young artist, maybe it might be a young sailor. You know, I want you to send a message home to reach them. You know, for me, I would say reach, have each. So each person could be reached. You know what I mean? So that I want you to send a message home to somebody to say, hey, you could do it too. You ought to do it. You could don't give up there. Send a little message home for me.
I just want to tell you that you are the pilot of your destiny. You are in control, and I thank God that that is the way it was designed. You know, despite my dad and what he did before, I thank God that I'm in control of my destiny, and I choose to take Jesus with me on my journey, and I thank God for that. Also, the good thing about legacy is it has a lot to do with where you end, not where you started. Because some of us, we all know that you might be after a bad start. And I can remember this one time, a lesson God taught me, because God has taught me lessons with props. And I had the shoes, and I was looking at it, but because I damaged my ACL, I just walked bad, right? So I walk like this. And because I walk like this, I was looking at the shoes and I say, how nice this would be, because there's a type of clogs that they no longer make. I say, how nice this would be if I could leave this for my son. And then the Spirit of God ministered to me. It would be nice because it's good to leave things for your kids. But if it's left that way, he would come and fall in love with it, and eventually he would be walking the same way. And what God taught me in that is be careful how you walk in this life, because somebody else is coming to walk after you. So be careful how you walk. Remember, Jesus is everything. So to the youths, only what you do for Jesus would last. So yeah.
Wow, Andrew, that talk, Andrew, you know what he did there? He just take a trail and he turn it up and end up with a trial, right? A trial and make a trail for somebody else. That is what he do there. And Jaron, I want you to hit us something in song. Give us a little something in song. I want you to encourage somebody in song. Me and Dan, hello, we will bring Jaron Nurse. Andrew, we can't bring Jaron Nurse on positive moments with Andrew and Dan, and he done. No way. Give me something again, Jaron.
And when my cupboard them empty, Jesus will provide. In the presence of my enemy, Jesus will provide. COVID in my country, Jesus will provide. So when me do and not me no worry, Jesus will always provide for me. Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. And when my cupboard them empty, Jesus will provide. Badang, Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. So when you can't control your salary, Jesus, I like the next verse. He better than Kiss and Quello. He keep on putting bread on my table. And Lindos and Freddy, them not ready. Jesus Christ always got me. And he's my chief baker. So my bread basket always run over. So blessings overflow, overflow, overflow. Now I know, now I know, now I know. Jesus will provide.
That's what we're talking about.
Hey, that's a
That's
lyric.
it, overflowed.
Bless God,
I
man.
know.
And I want to take a little lyric from that song, because people always very often say this, and it upsets me, is that they say, I prayed to Jesus and it's not happening. I'm praying and I'm praying and I'm praying. And I have to say, wait now. Oh, you just praying? So you're just praying then. You say, I just home praying all day. I say, well, you can look outside the window, because he make that outside there too. Everything around his creations. If you sit down and pray all day, you'll get a lot of blessings and prayers. So if you pray the same all day and same and pray, maybe someone will come to you. But if you take his opportunity, his gift, your legs, if you have, your hands, if you have, your voice, like you have, and go out there and do something with it, Jesus will provide. Yes? Well, tell us a little bit about that, how you get off your feet, how you go out and do what you do, because staying at home and expecting is a very dangerous place.
So there's two sides to that way you say. There's some people that stay home and they pray and they just do nothing about it. And then it have some people that doesn't understand that Jesus does say no to. And if he says no, he have a reason why he say no. Right? Often if you look in the Bible, you see God asks people, what you have in your hand? He asks Moses, what you have in your hand? Because he equipped us with a lot of things. And sometimes we praying and it's time to get up and go and do as you say, but we just want to just wait right there. And it always calls for an extra move. In my case, it's he will provide, and Jesus always provides to me. And what I thank God for, I never made my music, so I doesn't even call it a career. I'd never made my music a business. So I remember people used to make fun of me. They used to say, "You're the sweet bread boy. You singing for sweet bread." And I used to say, "Well, yeah, because I love to sing. I love to sing. So it's not about the money for me." And at that time, they were saying that I really had a lot of sweet bread boxes and sweet plates and things in my fridge. They were piling up. But I enjoyed singing because I understood that it was for people. But it came to a place where I would still tell people, nah, wherever you give me, it's not about the money. If God tell you, bless me, bless me. If you can't bless me, to this day, there's not a church in Trinidad that could say Jaron charge them. I have a manager, and you will speak to my manager. If you're having an event and you're charging people, then you cannot have me there and use me to make money for you and not get money for me, right? So if you're bringing a foreign act or something, then you'll speak to management. But I've never made it a business. And I continue to see Jesus providing for me. Even in the midst of this pandemic, I remember is a lot of people. In this pandemic, it turned out to be a lot of people that I did free stuff for. They just bless me, call me. Hey, God tell me to call your boy. A guy that did his daughter sweet 16, how much? 4 years ago, because she's 20 now. For nothing, and he just called me, say, God tell me to bless you with this, and God tell me to, even the vehicle I got. Because once you see about Jesus' business, he would put somebody to see about yours.
Jaron, you're an inspiration. And the thing about being an inspiration is that you're not fighting to try to be an inspiration. You're just doing you, and you're answering your call. And everybody needs to answer their call. And I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm encouraged because I knew you in your football days. You know what I mean? In his football days. And then to know now, and Andrew, I've seen it, even in my own churches myself, I've seen where he comes and he just comes and he just be a blessing to everybody. It's not about the money and that kind of thing. And people think, Jaron, that finding your purpose is just having a big house or pool or a car and money. But that's so far off. You know what I'm picking up from you? That joy, and I know the joy, Lord, is your strength. Yeah. But that joy that you have doing what you're doing, that joy is infectious as it is. And it helps somebody else realize that they could make it too. And that's what positive moments is really about. None of us have arrived. I always tell people when you arrive, you stay there. Yeah. Even as you sit down and you move a lot. Everybody pick up, hey, Jaron like to move because he's a man on the move. Yeah. Hello, but he wants somebody not just to move in their mind, but hello, you move in your mind and then move in your body because everybody is somebody and everybody has some move that they could make in this life. Like when Andrew move on that water. Yeah. Listen to me. No, that is a move. I move away because life for certain people. And I'll tell you, John, Andrew would have had his own trials. People look and they judge people too quickly. That's one of the things about people. They judge people too quickly. And Andrew, so happy that God brought us together. Because I don't judge you, you don't judge me. You know what I mean? And it's a wonderful thing. And guess what it turned into? it turns into positive moments. And I always say the positive moment that we're in, actually, if we make this moment positive, it makes for a better positive moment after all. And that's what it's all about.
And that's what you're about too. And that is why you are here. Amen to that. And the concept of let's go back a little bit actually, because it still hasn't left me the thought of what the 3-year-old was singing. That's just sitting down here with me, and I'm saying to myself, may not be the same lyrics, but I see that all the time, and I even see it in myself. And some of the work that I do is around the country, working with many different organizations, doing training their employees, how to make the organization more organized, more healthy and more happy is what I really like to preach on the underline there. And I have something called your life diet, which is anything that goes in through your ears, your nose, your eyes, your mouth, and your skin. But we're talking for you, mostly ears, but a little bit of eyes, because you have music videos and you like theatrics. But at the same time, it's called programming, in my opinion. What is programming us as a society? Where is it taking us? What are we listening to? What are we watching? I don't watch TV anymore. I actually, the coolest thing about this program is because I stopped watching most TV because I felt it was programming in a certain way. But I said, you know what? If people are going to continue watching TV, I'm going to continue watching TV. I want to see something like this on TV. I want to watch shows like this. I want to encourage more of this. Let Don and I start a trail for other people to come and, if you want to do better than us or more than us in this form of fashion, no problem. But it's where we started this, to have better things on TV and bring people like yourself who people can connect with, they like to hear your music, they like to connect with you, and vice versa with us. So they have someone who they look up to. And they may say, well, I don't really get along with so-and-so and so-and-so, but I like this guy's music. And I like Andrew Sailing, and I like the way Don uses words. And we use our gift to attract people to improve and have a healthier life diet. How would you, I want you to dive inside and bring out more. How would you encourage people to, be careful of what you're listening, far less singing. Be careful what you're writing, far less reading.
Why I always tell people be careful what you do, because music starts here. I remember a few years ago I had a song that started right here. Then I went to a little booth and recorded. And before you know it, it was all over Trinidad. Bless God for that, it became number one in the country. And every interview they will ask, did you expect that impact? Did you expect that to go so far? And I told them, to be honest, no. Because I was never, when I was recording the song, I saw children that was listening to the negative music, and that was my focus. And thank God He allowed it to reach out and reach places. But I can say the same for a lot of negative songs as well, And the music that the youths glorify these days is the music that glorifies the things that degrades them. I think that is a deadly place we're at in society, where they used to complain about the newspapers when it come to the ghetto areas to highlight positive things, and they would only come for crime. But the radio stations became the same, because a lot of our local secular urban stations started pushing the negative music. And when we asked, well, why, they would say, well, that is what the youths like. I say, well, if my mom, not because they like it, you could give them. I say, when I was growing up, I like a lot of candy, but my mom didn't give me that because she know the effect it can have on me. If she was just giving me candy because I like candy, sooner or later, rotten teeth. So don't just give them that because of what they like. But again, that is what they push.
And there's something you said that touched me again. And this is a very, very powerful session here, that we may have to run this more than the schedule due to the power of this episode. But you've come across an angle that is, when somebody when you were writing the lyrics of this song, or looking at the young boy or girl listening to music that you felt was having a negative effect on them, did you say to yourself, imagine if I sang something that they could sing that's better?
Yeah.
Did you listen to many songs on many radios and think to yourself, imagine if they played my music or better music?
Well, what I did with, especially with that particular song, what I did, I took a lot of those guys' bad lyrics, and I flipped it on them.
So this is exactly what I'm saying here. And I
And you
want,
have to get a little taste of that, you know. You
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
get a
we're
little
coming
taste
in.
of that. You gotta
And
get
what I
taste.
want you all to hear is why I was touching on those aspects with you. What I want you all to realize is we all are gifted by the Creator. He has gifted you, me, all of us, to create under His guidance. Yes. So what Jaron was doing there is he was creating his vision. It was not to be the most famous singer. It wasn't to sell as much records. It was to have a positive effect on the people who are listening to music. He saw someone at a young age listen to lyrics that was unhealthy. He heard radio stations or artists on radio stations singing things that were unhealthy. But he decided to take that and flip the script, provide you all healthy. You have the ability to create a healthy lifestyle in the place you work, in the home that you live, in the words that you speak, in the thoughts that you believe, and in anything you put your mind to. And Jaron's going to show us now how he took those lyrics, how he took that song that became number one in the country and flipped the script on them.
Pam pam, brother, brother, my journey got a lot of walk with me. Okay, I want them by them promoting. I say me fed up of the gun thing. No know what them want. Not ready like Freddy to do shelling. Swanee say, watch your friend in her. Because me fed up of the friend killer. And why can we just live like brother, brother? Let's love one another. Make the whole place better. So we no want a more gang leader. Make them boy come out of peer pressure. Why everybody wanna be Azessa? And you know Azess, them want press. When the big chain and white vest. Them put mama in stress. When maniac march out and leave one lifeless. And in that first verse there is about 6 songs with about 6 different artists using their lyrics against them, right? And the pre-chorus, I'm about to sing now, is calling their names. So Prince Swanee Gelano, Lumpy Bass Movado, telling Maniac, Rion and KG. Listen what me tell you, we need more love in the ghetto. Sing some positive tunes and set them ghetto youths free. And the chorus is, living in a gunman town. We don't need no gunman sound, no, no. Living in a gunman town. We don't need no gunman song, no. So what your friends where you're linking with? And they will lead you to your casket. The powerful stop right there.
Wow.
Respect, man.
That's what we're
Respect,
talking
man.
about, you know,
Because
Andrew.
Don, that takes a lot of confidence. That takes a lot of thought. That takes a lot of God's guidance.
Well, you know what it
to
takes,
do that.
Andrew? It takes a lot of creativity. So we have a creator, and we are his creation, and he helped us to be the creative, right? And you come out there and you create. So let me just tell you, I just try something there out of the gate. But listen to me, right? Right? But Jaron, that is wonderful. And the fact is, the message is not you're forcing people to become something that you're actually showing them what they have inside. Yeah. And sometimes it's just to take the negativity and to turn it into something positivity. You know, like a cross, like the cross is when a negative decide to look up. Yes.
That cross the thing to a positive and add so much to your life.
Oh man, that's what we're talking about. Because if you don't track it, it's subtract, and I don't want to detract from the message because we have a track to run. So listen to me. Oh, Andrew, I want to be a singer. I stop speaking. That's it, Andrew. That's it, Andrew Lewis. That's it. Positive Moments, episode 15 done. Lafuka, that's the conversion right there. That's switch.
Man, Nancy, call.
One time. Hello.
We'll see. We'll have to test it out.
You understand?
We'll test it out.
But Jaron, that's beautiful, and that's what positive movement is all about. Let me tell you, my brother here, Andrew, and Andrew called me from Spain because he was in Spain, and he in Spain, I in Trinidad, right? He in Spain, I in Port of Spain, right? And I said, listen, there's something, he said, we had to do something, and we say, Andrew, yeah, we're gonna use a little platform, and look at graduate now. We went from you, hello, it's a real thing. Let me tell you, on YouTube, Positive Moments with Andrew and Don. There are 16 down there already. But when this finish, run on TV. Listen to me. Get ready for it to come on the YouTube. Listen to me. That's where it comes. So you're going on TV first and then on YouTube. You want to go back somebody? Just check out Positive Moments with Andrew and Don. Now we continue in this TV. Andrew, what after this? After this, I know it's 16. Forget me. No, episode 16. But besides 16, after this, Andrew, where are we going again?
Well, one of the important things is, and that when you realize that you have something that's good and healthy, there's always somebody who wants to support you. Someone who wants to help you. The same way you had this belief system of, well, I'll sing for a little bread, or eventually I put a manager in charge and let him pay some bills. We have an amazing sponsor called Republic Bank. And Republic Bank has blessed us with the opportunity to have this production and so much. They believed in us. They believe this positivity can go
Bless
so
God
far.
for that.
We bless God for that indeed. So we thank Republic Bank for continuing to join us on this journey and to see the value in positivity. And to not only uplift this show and take it now from YouTube or from Zoom to then YouTube to now TV, it's now going to continue its growth. And this is what I believe you have also acknowledged. You have a team, don't you? Let's talk about the power of team and how they can take it on a positive road.
What I thank God for team. There's no, as they say, there's no I in team. I thank God for the team I have around me, and they work tirelessly. They're very honest. That's one of the main things I admire them. They would say, Jaron, I don't like it. And that team being my wife, my manager, my mom, my cousin and her brother, her husband, which is my cousin-in-law, Malika and Natania, right? They would, if I present something, they'd be like, hey, nah, Jaron, we ain't feeling this one. But then it has sometimes when God tell me something, they could say what? I'm going with it. I remember I had an event and I wanted to give away a vehicle in this event in 2019. But the day, whilst we were preparing to build the stage in Jean Pierre Complex, storm watch. We were on storm watch and everyone else was cancelling, I think, because we were preparing to do other things for other countries. So it had, I think, Marshall Montano had something down in O2 Park. Isasha and the dancehall and the reggae artists had something to raise funds for one of the, I think it was Bahamas or so. But when the storm came, a lot of them canceled their events. So people was calling me. They say, what going on? You have up until 6 o'clock to cancel. I said, what time it is now? He says, it's 2 o'clock, but you have up until 6 o'clock. I said, I'll make my decision now. I go and shoot it. I call the people. I said, don't try to close down the venue. Don't try to do anything. Just do what I pay you to do. Whatever we pay to do, however we ask for it, keep it that way. But a lot of people was like, a lot of those big guys that does the sound and the stage was like, who is this little boy or whatever? And we don't know him. But I thank God for that because I'm not about people knowing me. I want to know the God I serve, right? So I didn't care for them to know me. I was just, I knew that God told me to go through this. And that team was the time I saw them panicking. But they're still working, they're still printing jerseys, they're still doing everything. But as I passed it, I could feel it like, boy, what's going on? This thing short. We're going to pick up the artists and flood. Can't even drive through the flood. And then I remember the next day, we had a storm. And the next day, bright, sunny day. And I looked and I said, thank you, Jesus, for this day, that it will be a blessed day. And it turned out to be one of the biggest events the gospel had, and I thank all credits to Jesus for that. And I thank God that I didn't budge. And because of that, that was one big lesson in my life. To this day, when I pass and I look in the gym complex, I just say, thank you, Jesus. But what I learned from that as well, sometimes you might have a storm in your life today, but the God that we trust and the God that we serve, He's the storm chaser. So no matter what you're going through today, tomorrow just might be a bright, sunshiny day for you. Trust in Jesus.
And if not tomorrow, eventually.
Yes.
Yeah. Because your day is coming, every day is coming. And that's where you take the storm and you get rid of the R and you make the most out of the storm. But that R means you don't really get rid of it because the R, but you really want to be responsible. And let me tell you, we, again, you're a responsible young guy. And that's what society is missing nowadays. We're missing people who are willing to stand up. Andrew and I have made the decision to stand up, and we have no doubt that Jaron, you can't have Jaron without the R in the middle to stand up on. Oh, and I will talk about the relationship. Jaron, so really and truly is a blessing to have you on Positive Moments. I mean, Andrew, I can't tell you have a better 15.
Well, I think you could make it better by doing his name.
I could do Jaron one time.
One
I could do
time.
that, yeah?
One
But
time.
that's that, but Jaron know that, man, because let me tell you, in that Jaron, we have a J. And listen to me, on your journey, you have to know after the J, they have an A, and you're able to achieve. Listen to me, you're able to achieve. And when you achieve, you'll be able to reach and help others go on. It's not only Jaron. My name is Don.
Wow. So if you all haven't felt it or seen it yet, then I'm not sure what else you all need. Because you've seen gifts alive. You've seen this. You don't rehearse this show. There's no rehearsing. What you see live is live and direct. Don doing his thing, Jaron doing his thing, and us bringing it together to make it positive so you all can do your thing too. That's why we exist here. That's why we'll continue to exist. Nothing more, nothing less. So as we get ready to wrap up here and we get ready to close the show, we have one important thing that we really want to make sure that everybody feels and knows, is that there's only one more episode after this. There's only one more. But what you can do, what you can always do, is go and replay and go and rewatch and take notes. And don't let this one experience just be all that you experience. Take it and live by it. You want to heal? Use the things that makes you feel like, oh, if I go that direction, I'll feel better. You want to connect with healthier people or sing healthier songs? Just go to the places that will have that kind of music playing, or that food cooking, or that energy of people. They are in existence. YouTube is there for you to choose what you want to listen to. Not for them, you. What are you listening to? What are you watching? You get to choose. What are you eating? You get to choose. So let that be a lesson to you. Whatever you do with your life, let it be positive, let it be healthy, and listen to more music like my brother here, Jaron, produces. Head on?
Well, here now, I hear you talk up there about experience, and every experience is meant for the next experience. I learned that by experience. And let me tell you again, we want to experience it so we could have the experience of it. So, John, we're going to give you a cue and you know what to do, because really and truly, it's really true to watch me, to go 1, 2, and Jaron, camera to you.
Jesus Christ, like my first aid kit. Him give me the plaster when me fall and the bandage when me trip. All when me backslide and slip. Jesus and the spiritual rope make me take the tight grip. Cause I know that this world could be toxic. But Jesus Christ like my daily antibiotic. And when things looking tough and I'm losing hope, Jesus Christ like my spiritual antidote. Him are the best medicine cabinet. I'm serving Jesus and him never fail me yet. Him like my smelling salt when sin getting me upset. I'm serving Jesus and I got no regret. So this message of Jesus I can keep to myself. He's not the medicine that we can keep him on a shelf. I think I need to share him with the world. Share him with someone else. Make me just tell somebody about Jesus. Because that's what this world need to know. I like the second verse. How could I keep him to myself and stay quiet when Jesus keep me calm or when people outside riot? Just want to encourage you, add Jesus in your diet. Give Jesus a try and for sure you'll be inspired. Because I used to walk in sin, but Jesus purged it. And of that sinful lifestyle, now me get allergic. But be careful of the devil anesthetic, because you might fall asleep and not notice. Careful of the devil anesthetic, because you might fall asleep and not notice. The things that he does use to numb you and make you feel good for a little while, to forget your problems for a little while, like the alcohol, the marijuana, the gambling, that he does use to just numb you for a little while, be careful of the devil anesthetic.
Play more positive music, and that's what we're talking about.
There you go. There you go. You actually had two singers on the show for your head today. So as we wrap up, Jaren, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
From Port of Spain to Carnage, from Carnage to San Fernando, from San Fernando to Cedros. Your music has covered the entire island, all the way to Tobago, and now to the world. Tune in, take his music with you. It will enrich you, and we allow you to receive it here today, live and direct. Thank you for tuning in to Positive Moments with Andrew and Don. That's it for today. We'll be back for one more episode. We'll be closing up soon as we end off season 2. May God bless you. May you have all the positivity you need, all the health, wealth, and prosperity. Tune in again for one more episode. Bye-bye for now, everyone.